Hey, what is up, YouTube? Andrew Rooney here. I'm back with another, I guess I don't really know what this is, Drum Teacher Rants, one of the Drum Teacher Rant series, or perhaps a new series of bad internet advice, calling it out. I'm on a tear today, so I'm just going in, and I see this one so regularly. I'm in a couple of online groups for various reasons, and this bad advice, unsolicited advice as well, is pretty common, and I see it regularly. Often it really comes from a place of sort of like a high and mighty place, like talking down to the person. Now I'm going to set up the scenario for you. So someone posts a video, invariably playing along with a track, some type of drum cover, or maybe just playing in general, like a solo or a groove, or just playing drums. And let's say for whatever reason, it's not a great video. There could be a lot of reasons for that, right? So I mean, obviously the first thing you want to think about is, is this person actually looking for feedback? Probably not. They might just be sharing a video, which is a good thing to do. It's a great thing to record yourself playing. That's how you learn. And then the other thing is, how long has this person been playing for? So before you jump in and critique them for not being up to your supposed level or what you think of as the standard, they might have only been playing for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And a video that appears on the surface to not be that good might actually be really impressive if you know how long that player's been playing for. But anyway, back to this bad piece of advice that invariably pops up. So you get this video that's not great, and in the greater scheme of things, it's not a hugely impressive, on its own, drum video. Let's say it's out of time. You'll get a smart comment that'll say, you need to practice with a metronome. Nope. It's always something along those lines. Hey, get on that click track, man. Buy a metronome. Dude, have you heard of a metronome? Grab yourself a metronome. Now, this is really bad, rude, unsolicited internet advice from someone who doesn't know you, doesn't know you're playing, doesn't know how long you've been playing, and it's just, in general, it's not the way to do these things. Now, I've been teaching a long time. I've taught hundreds, if not thousands, I don't know. I've taught a lot of students, and I can tell you this is usually not a metronome, not a click thing, and I'm going to explain to you why. And this is about when I could do with a metronome, but tell you what, we all need more cowbell, so I'm going to use this cowbell. This is the metronome, right? And when you can set a cowbell sound on your online metronome anyway, or your phone app metronome. So this video is not very good. Perhaps we're even turning the beat over. It might even be going that far. It's a little bit out of time, this and that. And the advice is you need to use a metronome, or buy yourself a metronome, or you need to use the click. For those that don't know, click and metronome, basically the same things, right? Now this is what your click or metronome sounds like. So the idea is that you need to play along with that to improve your playing in that song, or your jamming. You need to practice more with this. So why is that bad advice? Because this is always a musical issue, musicality issue, a headroom issue in your drumming. It's normally not a timing thing. It can be a timing thing, might not, probably not. Now if I get my Cowbell Metronome again, Let's say you're playing so out of time that you've managed to turn the beat over, which happens. I've been there, you know. Hopefully not anytime recently, but, you know, we've been there. When I say turn the beat over, you're playing your kicks on the snare, and your snare hits on like the kick, on the 1 and 3 kick and the 2 and 4 snare. You've totally flipped them, and you're now completely out of phase, out of sync. And you know, I've seen players who actually will play naturally like that and actually play in time. Now, if you cannot hear, if you don't have the headroom to play and hear the music and hear the groove and hear where the pattern's sitting, hear where 1, 2, 3, and 4 are clearly marked within the bar, question, how is this going to help that? Question for you in the comment section. Can you tell me where 1, 2, 3, and 4 are in this? Okay, we'll start now. So, right, so where's 1? Where's 2? There is no 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's just clicks. It's just a cowbell. It's just time. That's not solving this musicality, this musical problem, this headroom, this understanding how groove sits, how the beat sits. And then, you know, you could say, well, just listen out for the snare. That's the 2 and the 4. What if you can't hear the snare? I'm deadly serious now. What if you cannot hear the snare? I've had students like that, you know, where we'll start learning a few songs and, you know, we'll start relating, you know, this is your snare drum. Can you hear it in the track? No. Some students straight away, they can just hear it. And then, you know, you might put away the drums or put down the sticks. We're going to clap on 2 and 4 and the song's going to start. Da-da-dum, dum, dum, ba-dum, dum, da-da-dum. Hey, dum, dum, dum. And then you'll get them to do it on their own. Da-da-dum, dum, 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 da-da-dum. It's just not there. They're just not used to it. It's not like there's something wrong with them or they don't have it. They're not a natural. No. They just haven't been exposed to it. They're not used to hitting a snare drum and relating that to the song. Oh, that sound is representing, you know, where we'd normally clap on the 2 and the 4. So there's a lot of stuff going on here, and I feel like it's really irresponsible, rude, and just plain wrong to tell a complete stranger on the internet you need to practice with a metronome. It's basically a really rude way of saying you suck or your playing is out of time. But in terms of advice, it's not good advice. The real antidote for this is getting in the room with a teacher. And I'm not pushing my own cause here. I'm not even offering online lessons, so I'm not even looking for that. But my advice is to get in the room with a teacher, or at least an experienced drummer, and start playing music. Give it some time. These things take more time than you think. Just work really hard. Play in time with an experienced drummer. You know, in that one-on-one lesson setup, you're getting constant feedback. So if we play Another One Bites the Dust together and you drift off, I'm not going to drift off. I'm going to stay right in the pocket, and you're going to have to correct yourself. And, oh, I sped up there and come back. Or I'm dragging there, I need to go there. And if you start playing in time but out of phase with that beat flipped thing I was talking about before, you know, I'll let you know and say, hey, there's our snare, man. We got to flip it over, or, you know, maybe stop, do that. Might go through the whole song just playing the snare. Da-da-dum, ch-dum, ch-da-dum, 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 ch. And then just feeling that. Maybe let's isolate the hi-hats. Let's just play the hi-hats along with the song. Da-da-dum, dum, dum. And maybe that's dragging. Well, it wasn't. So then it wasn't a timing thing. Maybe your right hand, you're just new to drumming, and you literally just can't keep up on the right hand. So how's click going to help that? turn the click up to a speed that you cannot play in your right hand and play in time. It's just such lazy, bad advice. And I'm sorry, I've had one of those days, and I'm not afraid to call it out. And let me know if you want more drum teacher calling out bad internet advice. But that whole thing, hey man, you need to practice with a metronome. No, you don't need to practice with a metronome. You need to play music. You need to understand music. You need to understand groove. You need to build up headroom. I've had students who can play a beat perfectly in time. Mate, let's just keep using this example of Another One Bites the Dust. We work through those early lessons, and eventually we end up going dum, dum, and great, you're playing a beat, feels amazing, everything's really good. Put the music on, all of that goes out the window because there's too much happening externally with the music. Didn't need the metronome and already knows the beat, doesn't have the headroom to play the beat with the music, with all that extra stuff going on. It's kind of like multitasking at this point, where now we're not only practicing this beat on its own isolated, now we're actually applying it to music, and you're, I guess, under that subtle pressure of having to play it in time with this music, something that, you know, you might not have ever done before. And me, as an experienced teacher, I don't expect you to be able to do that straight away. Some students can, some students can't. There's no expectations at my end at all. I've seen it all. I've seen students who pick this up instantly and then struggle with different stuff. Other students who really, really struggle with this for weeks or months or, you know, possibly even years, and then bang, light bulb goes off. They hear it, they feel it, and they're accelerating on their own path. So, I mean, I think we just got to be really careful with what we say, with advice that we dish out that normally has not been asked for. It's always coming from someone who doesn't post a video in the first place, which is hilarious to me. Hey, you should do this. And it's someone who's never posted a video in their life, probably never recorded themselves in their life. So, hey, if you are out there and you are posting video content, just keep at it. Just keep at it. You're going to get critiqued. The greats get critiqued. I've seen videos of Vinny, Buddy Rich, and whoever else, and then someone will critique it. There was one the other day. I won't say the name because people will know which video I'm talking about. And people piled in, or one person in particular piled in and started trying to pick fault with it. And the video was absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, if you are thinking of posting a video of your playing, just do it. Or don't, and save it for yourself and use it as your own reference and your own learning time. Because one rock solid piece of advice from me as a full-time teacher for years and decades is recording yourself is the number one way, proven way to improve. That is true accountability, and you are one of the few people, one of the few drummers who now, for better or worse, knows what you sound like if you record yourself. So just stay strong, don't listen to the haters, and don't listen to the bad online advice. Take care.